What's going on, guys? FlyingDBZ here, and we're back for another Pokemon Masters video, and we're going to be taking a look at the community tier list for Pokemon Masters. So, we're going to get right into it, and if you guys want to take a look at this list for yourselves, I will also have this down in the description too. I will not forget this time, so if you really want to check this out for yourselves as well, and take the time to go over it for yourselves, I'll have it down in the description for you guys if you really want to see it for yourself. So anyways, let's just get right into it. So for the A tier or the A+ striker, no Mega. We got Giovanni and Mewtwo, Lance and Dragonite, and then of course, we'll also take a look at the weakness, but we're not going to go like in depth about it. But Giovanni and Mewtwo, their weakness is event lock, because like, I mean, with them being a legendary event, they're going to be around for a limited time, and then of course it will be a while since we get them back after the event has left. So that's the only thing. But if you have Giovanni and Mewtwo, they're going to be like the best strikers for you without Mega Evolve Phase. So like if you have them, there you go, you had a very good psychic type striker, and they're very, very good. So but yeah, and I guess we'll take a look at their description too if they have one. So over here it said Giovanni and Mewtwo's biggest selling point is that it has Mega Esquine base special attack while being a regular legendary Pokemon. This allows it to start nuking from the get-go despite requiring team support for special attack boost. It is also notable for hitting from two types like Ghost and Psychic, and that's another thing that Mewtwo has, which makes him very, very versatile, because with him having a special attacking Psychic type move and Ghost type, you could use him in more stages, which is very, very good. And then we got Lance and Dragonite. Their weakness is high move gauge use, because you got Hyper Beam on them, which does like, I don't personally have Lance and Dragonite, so I can't really 100% fully say everything. But I do know that they do have a high move gauge, so that's going to be the only problem. So like, you really need to make sure you get like move gauge refreshes on your team so that you're able to do all these moves with Lance and Dragonite. But they are definitely a very good sync pair striker if you want to go for them too. So now we're moving down the list, and oh, that's right, the the description. So Dragonite's Dragon Shift elevated Hyper Beam, which, while draining its move gauge heavily, hits for a ridiculously high amount of damage. His Sync Grid grants him multiple useful tools like Healthy Healing, Hyper Beam Accuracy plus 10, which definitely helps, as well as a bunch of move gauge refill support. So when you have all those, then of course Dragonite is just going to be like insane. So like, if you have them supported and everything, like, then you don't have to worry about the move gauge. But if you're just worrying about doing damage and trying to max out the damage for Dragonite without having move gauge refreshers and everything, then I mean, it's going to take a bit for you to be able to do those moves again. But anyways, let's go down. And then we have Wallace and Milotic. Wow, alright. Cyrus and Pacquiao, of course, they're going to be up there. But for Milotic, their weakness is going to be lack of self-offensive stat boost. But when you get them stat boosted, they're going to be very good. They're going to be very good, of course. Because I didn't even think about that. Like, when I saw Wallace and Milotic, I was like, wait, why are they up there? But it makes sense. Like, when you have them statted up, then they're definitely going to be a lot better. I actually want to try that. I'm actually going to try that after this video. And then we got Cyrus and Pacquiao. Their weakness is going to be event locked as well, just like Mewtwo. Alright. We all know what Pacquiao does, but like, he's insane. That critical strike 9 on his passive, like, that's really, really good. But anyways, let's take a look at their description on what they gave him. So Cyrus Pacquiao is one of the most obscene strikers thanks to the critical strike 9. Yeah, definitely. Which grants a huge power boost to critical hits. Both Spatial Rend and Emotional Void Spatial Rend have an inbuilt +1 critical hit rate, so players only need to use one dire hit plus all to unleash this behemoth. And that's very true. Like, it doesn't take much for Pacquiao to be very good, so he's a very good striker, and I've always been saying that ever since Pacquiao came out. Like, he is just insane. So, and he's free to play, so you can't go wrong with that, but the only thing is, he has event lock, so yeah, whenever his event comes and you don't have him, definitely grind that up. And then for Wallace, it says Wallace's status as a tech unit allows him to straddle both offensive and defensive roles. When built as a striker option, his Milotic's maximum damage output outstripes that of Chris's Fraligator. Wow, that's actually insane. I didn't know that. Controversially, Milotic can also be built to be an undying attack sponge through a regenerative build, because he does heal on his sync move, so like you could definitely build him as a tank too if you want. But I really want to try Milotic as a offensive unit after this. Like I didn't know he was actually that good, but wow, all right, definitely gonna try that out. And then for the A- strikers Mega, we got Blue and Pidgeot, and then we got Karen and Houndoom. And their weakness, Blue's weakness is average damage until after Mega Evolution. Because once he Mega Evolves, like, you're just gonna be a lot better, because you got Hurricane, and like the stat increase on his special attack is really good too. And then for Karen, the weakness is average damage until Mega Evolution, of course. And it's going to be like that for all Mega Evolutions that are strikers. Like, their base form isn't going to be doing that much damage until you Mega Evolve, so... but anyways, the description for Blue is Blue and Pidgeot served as one of the two OGs for Unity grinding, requiring only one turn of setting up to start churning out critical hits through his AoE move, Air Cutter. As the more offensive variant, Pidgeot covers Hurricane's poor accuracy on his own to make it a great Mega Striker. And then for Karen and Houndoom, Karen and Houndoom served as one of the two OGs for Unity grinding, requiring only one turn setting up and oh wait, is it the same thing? No, okay, it's a little different. Requiring only one turn of setting up and setting up to start churning out critical hits through her AoE move, Snarl. And Snarl's actually very good too. That's a little bit underrated, I feel. But anyways, as the more defensive variant, Houndoom saw a decent buff through status-powered nodes in his own sync grid. Like, when he gets gridded, of course, he's gonna be a lot better too. But out of these two, honestly, I prefer Blue and Pidgeot. Even though they don't have a grid and Houndoom does, I will always prefer Mega Pidgeot and Blue over Houndoom. Like, I don't know, Houndoom seems a little bit underwhelming to me. Even with all the buffs and everything from his grid, I'm not much of a fan of Houndoom. But anyways, let's continue down. So the next one is Wally and Gallade, and Cynthia and Garchomp, and both their weaknesses. So we're going to start off with Wally. His weakness is self-speed buff dependent on being hit. And I can see how that's a problem. And then for Cynthia, Pokefair Lock. So that's the only weakness. That's very good for Cynthia. So if you have Cynthia, that's the only thing. So then you don't have to worry about anything. But anyways, let's go down. So Wally is unique as his Gallade in the 1 Mega Evolution. Enabled Pokemon that actually lives up to the title of a mixed sweeper. His sync grid centers around dealing fast and boosted critical hit damage, which pairs extremely well with Gallade's natural access to critical hit rate boost. And then for Garchomp's entire set revolves around Sand. From its passive skills to his own sync grid, Surging Sand therefore becoming a powerful lucky skill for Garchomp to fully dominate under the weather condition. So honestly, out of these two, I will always prefer Garchomp and Cynthia. Even though I really like Wally and Gallade, I will go for my girl Cynthia and my boy Garchomp all the time. I love those two, and Garchomp is one of my favorite Pokemon, so of course I'm just going to naturally go for Garchomp, but I can definitely see how Wally is going to be very good too when he Mega Evolves. So, but anyways, let's continue down. And then for A support, we got Sabrina, Alakazam, and Lyra and Chikorita. Alakazam will definitely be a really good support type for a long time as well. Same with Chikorita. After her Synchrid buff or Synchrid expansion, she's very good now. But Alakazam's weakness is the incompatibility with physical strikers, and that is true. because Alakazam does raise special attack by 3 every time you use 6th Sense, so any heals on that too. And you get an MP refresh as well, so like, I mean, he's very good for special attackers, but for physical, you're not going to want to run him with anyone, but I mean, he's still very good. And then for Lyra and Chikorita's weakness, their weakness is dependent on Sun. That's the only thing. But so of course they're gonna be good with Ho-Oh because Ho-Oh will just naturally have Sun up every time he sync moves, so that'll be good too. But of course you could also have Rapidash and have Sunny Day up as well from that if you really want to. But I mean, that's the only thing with them. And they could also do Sun on their like when they sync move now too. I think I could be wrong, but they're definitely a very good sync move sync pair. With their grid now too. But out of these two, I prefer using Alakazam and Sabrina, just because they'll be more consistent, because they're not reliant on any weather conditioning moves. So because of that, I'll just go with Alakazam and Sabrina every time. But if I want to switch things up and make things a little bit more spicy, I'll go for Chikorita and Lyra. So and then down here we got Phoebe and Dusclops and Serena and Fennekin. Dusclops' weakness is pass it on, unusable outside of co-op, and that's very true. So that's the only thing with her, and that can definitely be a little bit of a problem. And then Serena and Fennekin, their weakness is poor base move accuracy, and that's because of the hypnosis. But I'm pretty sure she does like make up for that on her moves. 2 and +1 accuracy. Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit, but she only gets 1. But I mean, maybe if you get an MP refresh on that, maybe you can. But anyways, out of these two, I'm probably gonna go for Dusclops, just because I prefer Dusclops a little bit more. Because when I play this game, I like to go for Pokemon that I really like. Don't get me wrong, I like Serena as a trainer, but her Braixen, or Delphox, sorry. I'm not much of a fan of Delphox, so like, I don't know, but I really like what he could do, but I'm just not much of a fan of the design and everything, so therefore I'm just gonna go for Dusknoir every time, or Dusclops, whatever. And then down here we got a borderline. So we got Steven with Metagross, and then we got Steven Summer 2020 with Alolan Sandslash. And then their weakness is Pokefair locked for Metagross, and for Sandslash, seasonal banner locked. So you're only going to be able to see them like during the seasonal events. So like next summer, 2021 summer, then you're going to have a chance of seeing them there. But still, like these two are still very good, especially Alolan Sandslash. Like you guys know, I always talk about Alolan Sandslash, especially when he first came out. I'm never going to talk anything bad about him. I love that sync pair. They're very good. But out of these two, I'm probably going to go for Mega Metagross, just because I really like Pokemon that Mega Evolve. Even though like I love Alolan Sandslash, I'm going to go for Mega Metagross every single time, just because I really like what the design for Mega Metagross and everything. So like, I don't know. Out of these two, I prefer Mega Metagross. But let's continue down. And then we got Hilbert and Samurai with Rosa and Superior. So Samurai's weakness is incompatible with special strikers, and then for Rosa, poor offenses. So like she can't do any damage, of course, but I mean, she's very good as a support. Like she's very good, because that MP refresh on the move gauge refreshes that she could do, very good. And Hilbert and Oshawott, they're actually really fun to use as well. But the only thing is they're not good with special strikers. But that's like with Alakazam as well. He's not good with physical, but Samurai is not good with special. So like, I mean, you got to pick what you want, of course. But yeah, so out of these two, honestly, I'm gonna go for Samurai, just because I love Hilbert and Samurai a lot more. I know Superior is much better than them, but I'm just gonna prefer Samurai, just because I really like the whole design and everything with Hilbert and Samurai. I really like them a lot more, but I know Superior is definitely a lot better. But anyways, let's keep going. For the B tier striker, we got Signature Grimsley and Sharpedo. and Nolan and Pinsir. Wow, alright, Pinsir is up here. And then we got, for the weakness, we got high risk, high reward, and of course that's what's going to be with all the Grimsley units, because Grimsley is like a gambler, so of course they want to like sort of make a sense with that. And then for Nolan, the weakness is Sync Move, Breaking, Fury, Cutter's Chain. And yeah, that's going to be the only problem, but I mean, like, Mega Pinsir is still very fun to use. I love using Mega Pinsir here and there when I feel like it. But when you do use Mega Pinsir, like, he's a lot of fun. He really is. Like I said, I love Mega Evolution, so like I'm just gonna love Mega Pinsir right away. So anyways, let's keep going down. We got Hau and Raichu with Price and Dugong. Wow, Dugong is up here? Wow, okay. So for Raichu, the weakness is Frail Power Creep Victim. That's very true. Like, he honestly, with everybody else getting a Power Creep and everything, with him not having a grid, like, it's really holding him back a lot. And then for Dugong, uncommon favorable type matchups, and yeah. I didn't know Dugong was actually this high up on the list. Like, I mean, we're only on the B plus strikers, but I mean, wow, all right. I think after the B tier, we're just probably gonna end it off. So we're gonna, because I don't want the video to be extremely long. But anyways, out of these two, I mean, I'm gonna go with Raichu just because, like, Dugong, I don't know, like, both of them are free to play, but out of them two, like, honestly, I'd rather go with Raichu. But it depends on the event, of course, because you're not always gonna want to run Raichu, because maybe sometimes you're gonna need an ice type, so then Dugong is gonna take that place. So I mean, it depends on the situation, of course, like with every other sync pair. But just naturally, I'd rather use Raichu. So especially that Alolan Raichu, like, ooh, he looks amazing. Definitely gonna go for him. And when they got B minus strikers, we got Chris and Fraligator, and then Hilda and Tepig. So Fraligator's weakness is average attack, and weakness for Emboar is heavy recoil. But of course the grid does stop that quite a bit, but of course the recoil is still going to be there. And then rolling down more, we got Flannery and Torkoal, and Karina and Lucario. I'm surprised Lucario is way down here, but I guess we'll take a look at the weakness. So Flannery is high passive damage vulnerability. And then for Lucario, Wally exists. That's basically just it. Wally exists, and that's so true because Wally does have close combat as well. So just naturally, like, Wally's just going to be a lot better because now he's able to go 6 stars as well. So like, Wally is just there. That's the only weakness. I just love the weakness that they put for that. But anyways, moving down, we got B support, Jasmine and Steelix, Glacia and Glalie. What? Why are they there? Like, what? Jasmine, I thought that she would be a lot better or higher up on the support list, but I mean, I guess we'll take a look at their weaknesses. Mediocre base special defense. Yeah, that's the only thing. If Steelix's special defense was a lot higher, Steelix would be a complete monster. So, I mean, there's that. And then Glalie, sync move consistent against Mega Strike sync pairs. But honestly, Glalie, I just hate so much. Like, not a very good support type because the defenses are not very good at all, even when you Mega Evolve. Like, when you Mega Evolve, he basically turns into like like almost like a striker, but a very shitty striker. So, like, I mean, not very good. But anyways, Jasmine is definitely a lot better. But let's continue going down. And then we got Dawn and Turtwig. What? They're actually this low on the list? Come on, what? Okay, let's take a look at their weakness. Good as new, only having 1 use, even after Synchron. Okay, yeah, alright, yeah. I definitely see how that's a problem because, like, I mean, good as new is definitely very good. It's a full restorer, so like if you have any status conditions and you're low on health, boom, you're like full health and you remove the status condition, so that's very OP, but only having it 1 time does hurt him quite a bit. And then Lily and Clefairy, they got no description there, so like, I mean, they're good, but I mean, they're good. I'm just gonna say that. And then we got B borderline, we got main character, and so Galio, and main character and Pikachu. Pikachu is very good because he's very good as a potion user too. but he's a striker, so like he's not going to be taking very many hits. But so Galio's weakness, event locked, and then we got main character and Torchic, and then Roxanne and Nose Pass. Torchic's weakness, insufficient physical boosting. Inefficient physical boosting. I don't know what they fully mean by that, but anyways. Roxanne and Nose Pass, their weakness, incompatibility with physicals type strikers. So yeah, but I mean, I don't really like Nose Pass or Probobass anyways. Same with Torchic. Not much of a fan of both of them, but of course we're gonna get a better Torchic in the future maybe. Unless when Blaziken does come to the game, it's just gonna be Blaziken right away instead of having to evolve them. But anyways, let's go down. We got C tier. C tier strikers. We got Silver and Ho-Oh. Sets up with Sun. So once the Sun is up, then they're good. Gladian and Silvally. Any type striker, which does help them a lot because then you could have the advantage against any event, which does help a lot. And then C minus strikers, we got Lyra and Jigglypuff. Best fairy type striker in the game, of course, because the fairy type strikers are very limited, but it is what it is. And then Elisa and Zebstrika. But with their grid, they're very good now. Like, they're very, very good. And I'm pretty sure this is before the grid was taking place. But with their grid, I definitely, I would probably place them in maybe the B tier, B plus tier. Like, they're definitely not, like, up there, but they're very, very good. And then, we got, Lucamine. Wow, what's Lucamine? Wow, okay, I didn't know she was actually this low. But anyways, Lucy and Superior. And then C support, Leaf and Eevee. Their weakness is Sync Move contestant against Mega Strike Sync pairs. And then we got Acerola and Palossand. They're very good. They're very good with Garchomp, of course, but their weakness is useless outside of Sand Cores. So like, yeah, if you don't have Garchomp with you or anybody that benefits from Sand, then Acerola is not very going to be great outside of that. And then we got Drake and Salamance. Their weakness is no offensive boost. So yeah, that's the only thing, because with Dragon types, they're definitely more offensive than defensive. So with him not having any like offensive boost, it really holds him down. And then we got Professor Oak and Mew. Their weakness, Sync Move contestant against Mega Strike Sync pairs. See Borderline, we got Will and Zatu. Weakness, heavy, reliant on team support. Yeah, I don't really like that sync pair anyways. Broly and Hariyama, Tate and Solrock, Lisa and Lunatone. Don't really like those sync pairs anyways too. Honorable mentions, we got Zinnia and Rayquaza. They're terrible. They're not that great. They're not that great, but they're event locked for their weakness. And then we got Fantina, Miss Magius, I always struggle with that name, and Lapras, Hell-based Striker, Claire and Kingdra, Gardenia and Roserade. Best substitute to Brandon and Skeptile, which is very true. Then we got Misty and Starmie, Erica and Vileplume, Norman and Slacking, Leona and Pelipper. They're actually not bad because, of course, they can set up rain, so they're not bad. I'd probably place them a little bit higher on the list, but they have them over there. And then that's basically it. So, I mean, like, do you guys agree with this list? This is obviously before some grids got expanded, but I don't know how long ago they made this, but this is when it came out. Definitely before Zebstrika got the grid, because otherwise Zebstrika definitely would have been a lot higher, because Zebstrika is just so much better now. But anyways, do you guys agree with this list? Let me know down in the descriptions below. Me personally, there's some things I would change personally, but as it is right now, it is good. It is good. There's not very many things that I can argue with, because this is definitely before some sync pairs didn't get the grid. But of course, they're definitely going to upgrade this in the next like month or two, most likely. But anyways, like I said, let me know if you guys agree with this list, and if you don't, comment down below and then make your fixes. But anyways, that'll be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later.
It's always hard when you.